Hello everyone, this is me, Dusty Circuit here, and welcome to another Kerbal Space Program video. My apologies for a bit of a the delay in these uploads. I've got to admit I maybe have gotten a bit addicted to Factorio lately, thanks to Aquana. Maybe they might have influenced me to try playing it again, and well, I got addicted. But it's not what this video is about. This video is about modded Kerbal Space Program, and also going to a lot of the new planet packs, like interstellar planet packs that are being developed right now. And where I left off, I sent a mission out to Duna because we're still trying to get science right now because of my decision to have the science set to like 10%. That's kind of drawing out this part of the Let's Play, but I feel like as we get more stuff unlocked, and as we go to more places, land on more planets, and get more science, it's going to start going faster. I don't know, I just figured recording with the storm over the KSC might be interesting, but thunder and lightning's kind of being a thing I have to talk over, but so in the previous episode, well, so far in the series, I have been to the surface of Minnus, the moon, or the Mun. I always want to say moon, but it's called Mun in this game. And Duna. And thinking next mission would be to go to Jewel, but I don't really have a lot of the technologies that I really want to go to Jewel, and also to Sarnus quite yet, because I really would like to have maybe make a space plane to go to Lathe or Tacto, depending on which planet we go to next. And I don't have any of the space plane stuff unlocked right now, and I'm also lacking quite a few other technologies as well. So I figured this mission we will go, I guess you could call it the Asteroid Belt. So if you're going by what our real solar system's like, or how there's Earth, Mars, and then way out here is Jupiter, but then in between Mars and Jupiter is the asteroid belt. And in the asteroid belt we have Drace, which according to some KSP fans doesn't exist, but it does, because we have a mod that actually makes it better installed. And then there's also Vant and Zor, which are added by the Minor Planets expansion mod. So I'm thinking for this episode we're gonna go to, if not all three of those bodies, at least two of them, so we can bring back a whole bunch of science home. And I'm hoping maybe to go to most of all the biomes on each of their surface, And then by the time we finish processing that in the lab, we should get a ton of science that we can send home to Kerbin. Oh wow, I just clicked the VAB right as thunder happened and it just made a crazy whoop. So this is our spacecraft that I've designed and also test flown at least to low Kerbin orbit off camera. And well, going from bottom to top is the launch stage. Like all this here is the launch stage, and this is into the interplanetary stage. And crew quarters and the laboratory and the lander. And the lift stage, I've kind of had to kind of overbuild, like just cluster a ton of the mainsail and the 2.5 meter diameter fuel tanks together. And like all these tanks on the bottommost section is the first stage. And then I think the second stage engines are in that section. And then second stage fuel tanks is up here. And then inside that fairing is it's one of the nuclear engines. It's this one I'm using for the main interplanetary stage. And here in the interplanetary stage, I just have a bunch of these, like these outer tanks will stage away as they empty and eventually leave us with the central stage, the central tank. And in here is a whole bunch of batteries and solar panels to provide the electricity that the lab research and also transmitting the science is going to require, as well as also providing SAS and reaction wheel control. And I don't have any of, I have some of the stock-like station parts expansion parts unlocked, but not a whole lot of them. So like I think I just have this lab and a couple habitation modules and a few and some adapters, and I think that's about it. And I have docking clamps finally, but only these these tinier, the smallest ones. But I do not have RCS thrusters unlocked yet, so I guess I'm just going to have to do my best docking without them. But this lander, I'm using the nerve engine, and it should be fairly low thrust. So I'm hoping that docking isn't going to be too bad. I should be able to still do fairly precise, like the fairly precise micro burns that are required for docking with the nerve engine. At least I'm hoping. And also, I have this big relay antenna, which I'll be using to send the science back to Kerbin. Though I don't know if it has enough range to allow me to do that from as far out in the system as I'm going to be going to Dress, Vant, and Zor. But if it doesn't, I guess we'll just have to save up all our science until we return to Kerbin and then do all the research there. Although both processing the science and sending it back to Kerbin. And I don't have the cryo, I don't have any of the deep freeze mod parts unlocked yet, so I guess my Kerbals are just gonna have to do their best to make themselves comfortable, and this command pod and this habitation module in this laboratory, and I guess in the lander command module as well. And I'm also using, for the lander, I'm using the nerve engine because of I'm gonna be going to Dres, Zor, and Vant are pretty low gravity, and so the low thrust of the nerve engine shouldn't be an issue for landing on and taking off from them. But I do not have the mining drill and convertotrons unlocked yet, so we can't do we can't do ISRU mining just yet to replenish our fuel. So if we run out of fuel, I'm gonna have to send a rescue mission. Speaking of rescue mission, I think it might actually be better to add multiple docking ports. Oh, and by the way, I find it kind of funny that this rocket, well, I had it, when I was building this, I actually had it higher up off the ground. And like the bottom of this lander was right up to the ceiling of the VAB, or at least this part of the ceiling. So I thought it was kind of funny. But I moved it down, and so it's only about as high as the top of this like gantry crane, or the railing the gantry crane would go on in the VAB. I think we are ready to launch, ready for liftoff. Another thing about this is I have all but I think the gravity, the gravioli detector unlocked for science instruments, and I also don't have parachutes and heat shields on this thing, so I guess if we want to return, I figured, I guess when I was building this, I figured it wouldn't be too difficult to just, when the mission is over, just send a rescue craft up to low Kerbin orbit to send the crew home. So I guess that's how we're gonna do it. This craft is very laggy on in the launch stage because of all the, like, I don't know how many parts this thing has, but probably in the high hundreds. So this part of the video I'm just gonna be kind of slow, maybe a bit laggy, but like right now I'm at like 13 FPS. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off. Whoa, I guess I didn't throttle up. There. That could have been bad. Yeah, I don't know if the rocket is that slow or the game is just lagging so much that it looks that slow. I have a feeling I might have to speed up this launch maybe a little bit in editing, because this thing's pretty laggy. Oh, those shot cones are, by the way, from the vapor cones mod, and like they appear when your craft is going through the sound barrier. And we're just about to stage in a few seconds. Wow, KSP, my game was a PowerPoint presentation probably for 30 seconds. It's crazy how laggy this rocket is. But as soon as we shed that stage, should get a lot smoother. And I can't wait to unlock the bigger engines and bigger fuel tanks, so I don't have to build like crazy high part count rockets just to get my ship into orbit. Okay, I'm gonna do this orbital insertion kind of weird because this stage, the thrust to weight ratio is quite low. So we're gonna do the orbital insertion kind of like this before we've even left the atmosphere, and we're gonna just kind of point downward. Well, I guess we might have to go up just to get our apoapsis above the atmosphere, and then as soon as it's above, we'll point down again. Okay, that stage is out. Maybe we'll just time warp till we're at apoapsis. And now we can deploy our solar panels. We're probably not going to get much sun at all because we're facing away from the sun, but should help us replenish electric charge as we go around the Kerbin. Yeah, I can already feel the game's running quite a bit faster now that we've shed all that those extra parts. And well, now that we're fully out of our orbit is fully out of the atmosphere. Okay, why can't I time warp? Yeah, this persistent thrust mod, this is one of the things I hate about it. Like basically it doesn't allow you to time warp if another craft is within physics range, as I understand it, but from what I can understand, this is not, well, nothing's within range of me, and it's still not letting me time warp. So I guess I'm gonna have to switch to tracking station. And we'll just have to do that in the tracking station, and then go back to the game. Hey, to do this escape burn is probably going to take multiple passes around Kerbin because our thrust to weight with all this liquid fuel and that one engine is pretty low. But we can do that with the persistent thrust mod, as it allows you to non-physics time warped while burning, which makes would make using really low thrust engines such as the ion engines actually tolerable for if you're not very patient. And also would be helpful in our case as well. Maybe 1 or 2 more burns and we should be out of the Kerbin orbit. Or on escape, rather. I don't know if Minmus is helping or hurting us, but it looks like we're gonna fly by it anyway. Hope we're within range of Minmus now. And now we're leaving Kerbin. Oh, for flying by the moon, the Mun, apparently. That's interesting. And that has ruined our escape trajectory. Great. But it looks like on the next pass we'll get ejected anyway. But looks like on the current course we are going to collide with the Mun, but that should be easy to correct. Wait, why is that happening? Yeah, that was weird. It did. Sometimes, I don't know what causes this, but sometimes I experience this bug where even if I'm not throttled up with any engines, that my orbit trajectory changes on me, like it keeps moving. And I had to go to tracking station to stop that. And I already did my first quick save for this mission. So it looks like we'll just have to do one more moon flyby, then we'll be out of the Kerbin system. And now we're leaving Kerbin. Pretty close call here with the Mun, but we're gonna be fine. Also kind of funny that we happen to go in shadow right as we're flying by them, and now the sun is out again. Or I guess Kerbal rather. That's what the star is called of the main system. Now we're finally leaving Kerbin. And now we can plan our first encounter. I guess we'll go to Dress first. I was thinking I could do my plane change burn now, but I guess we're still a little too far away from the node, so I'm gonna have to do a half an orbit around Kerbal, or I can do that. I don't know. I like to try get as close as close of a periapsis as I can to take advantage of Oberth effect for capture, but I think Dress has fairly low gravity, so that does it. Basically doesn't probably is negligible for this mission. Yeah, it's estimating about a 45-minute burn, so I guess I'm going to. Well, fortunately, I can uh, time warp through this, but I'll have to keep an eye on the stage. Okay, that is now empty. Oh, there's what Drez looks like with the mod that installed. Oh, and I just realized something is I'm missing something here. Let me I'll be back with you in a bit. Okay, so what I was saying that I was missing. Oh, if I can. Okay, so what I said I was missing before was the wormholes. Wormholes were not enabled for. I believe one of these is for Promised Worlds and the other is for the Cosmic Serenity mod. But they weren't in, but I guess, at some point I updated those mods and, it, like, erased the config settings, and by default wormholes are disabled in both of those, so I enabled them. And I don't think that's, not that that really will matter for this mission. But, since those were missing in the video, I thought I'd mention it. And usually I like to do, like, IVA tours of my spacecraft, but no, I don't think there's much to see here. So I think we just have this command pod, which I don't think really has I don't think this one was even meant to have a way to go from. Well, I guess I could go IVA for from here, and that, leave that as the module that's just behind the command pod, and looks like you can't transfer between them, but I guess let's pretend they do somehow have a hatch between there, even though it's, you can't go there. And I guess that's just the laboratory, and that goes to the outside, and there's that, I think behind there is the fuel tank for the interplanetary stage, so we can't go that way. And the inside of that module is kind of the same as that, so there's not really that much to see. So, guess let's time warp. Looks like we're gonna be in space for another year till we actually get to Dress. I think we'll just go till we're at periapsis, and then we'll just burn retrograde till we're in orbit. And there's Dress. Yeah, looks like that's our closest point. So let's start our capture burn. I don't know, maybe I'll use a maneuver node so I know when we have to stage. Yeah, looks like this is also going to be a fairly sizable burn. And I guess we'll do like our like our science from high over Minmus now. And then every science we do, we're just gonna collect. We're not actually gonna put in the lab until we're ready to process all of it. Because I learned that lesson from the last mission, is where we ran out of fuel, and we didn't even have enough fuel to get home to a safe return orbit. And well, I guess I could have sent a rescue mission, but I decided to use a bit of cheats just to get back home safely, because I guess I didn't want to really have have that mission be drawn out too much, but I guess oh well. Hey, where are you, Hatch? There we go. think we'll just land on Minmus Dres, and then we'll end this video. And I guess this will probably be a multi-video mission. We'll do our low orbit science and then we'll land. I don't know, I guess I want to put all the science stored in one area, and I guess we'll just have it stored in the lab whenever I go from EVA. Okay, I think we're ready to, I guess, send a Kerbal down to the surface. So undock the lander. Then activate our engine. Yeah, I really just want to land somewhere that's flat if possible. Oh, I just realized I made a bit of a mistake with making this lander. I left this as a fuel and oxidizer tank. Oops. Oh well. I guess I will Guess I'll feather this engine to give us a nice controlled descent. Looks like this is perfectly flat land we're coming down on, which is nice. And apart from that little thing where he came to a hover for a second, that was a perfect landing. Well, this, I guess I can show you the IVA view, that it's nothing special. Looks like there's not much of a view out of this pod. And I guess now I can do some science from the surface of Dres. Yeah, it looks like we're not getting a whole lot of science from this, but hopefully once we process it, we'll get a decent amount. As of interest, keeping the video length reasonable, I think I'm gonna end this here. And I think the next video, maybe we might try to maybe go to other biomes on Undress, or maybe we'll go to the next planet. If I can only get back in my lander. Okay, where is the hatch? Come on, there we go. So as with that brings the end of this Kerbal Space Program episode. If you liked what you saw, remember leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And this has been Dusty Circuit here. And if you want to see my next videos, be sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And peace out. Bye.